Hello everyone, it's Chad here. Now, welcome to the obligatory Star Wars Battlefront video, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts on what I've seen so far, what I like, what I don't like, and what the game is shaping up to be at the moment. Now, for those of you who are wondering out there, this is definitely not Battlefield 4, essentially, or Battlefield in any kind of way in the Star Wars universe. It doesn't have that level of depth. With respect to the actual gameplay, it is essentially a run and gunner. There's not a huge amount of depth as far as I can see. It's essentially a game that was designed for a particular market, and it will hit that market for obvious reasons. But as to the long-term playability, it's questionable depending on DLCs that they bring out, maps, etc. Now, he says, pausing, things that are relatively okay. I mean, I can't argue it is fun to play. It can get a little bit frustrating. At times there are certain aspects where, like for example, I would say that the idea of the fact that thermal detonators can then regenerate after a set period of time is a mistake, because that just encourages thermal detonator spam, which makes holding certain points more difficult and things of that nature. It could be a balanced choice, but let's be fair, DICE hasn't exactly had the best track record of balancing when it comes to games in general. Now, there are certain things, it's hard to believe, but the spawns are still screwed. They are, I don't know what it is about DICE and spawns and spawn points and all that rest of that stuff. Just doesn't seem right at the moment. The numerous times where I've literally been playing an Imperial and I've had Rebels spawn literally no more than 10 feet in front of me, and I'm able to gun all like 3 of them down before they even know what's going on. So there's no kind of spawn protection or anything along those lines, and the spawns just don't seem right. It just doesn't seem that they will sort of move according to where the map is and stuff like that. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel fair on the players that these guys could spawn in front of an enemy and they've got no way of fighting back. They've basically just got to stay there and take the death. Now, with respect to the maps, now obviously the map design is quite interesting. I have to say, obviously, there are certain aspects of it. It's good to see that problems that used to happen with Battlefield 4 have now been overcome for Battlefront, and you don't tend to get stuck on the environment. You can jump up rocks quite easily. There's less sort of spiky, invisible walls for you to get caught on, and that makes it for a more enjoyable experience when you can traverse across the terrain, sort of unimpeded, I think is the term. So in that regard, it's actually quite good. Obviously, the sound in DICE games tends to be pretty top-notch anyway. It was great in Battlefield 4, really good, and in Battlefield 3 as well. And so as a result of that, you know, the sound effects, the lasers and all the rest of it, it's all pretty damn good stuff. Now, one thing I will say, that I still think that the Rebels should be shooting green lasers and the Imperials should be shooting red, which is, I think, is in more keeping with canon, but it's just obviously it's a little bit easier to sort of tell the guys apart, you know, who's shooting at who and all the rest of it and stuff like that, you know, might improve things when it comes to certain aspects of the gameplay. The game modes, obviously, you have the standard sort of capture the point and all the rest of it. That can be good fun. Obviously, you tend to do a lot of running around. This is something that happened a lot in Battlefield 4. You literally just hold down shift to sprint pretty much all the time, and because time is of the essence, but everyone's sprinting everywhere. So I don't know why they have it so that you can walk when you can just sprint. You need to sprint everywhere, really. So that's another aspect of the game that seems a little bit strange at the moment, but obviously this is a beta. Things can be worked out. We haven't seen all of the game in that regard, and there's still obviously plenty more to come. Certain aspects, the takedown of the ATTs, I mean, it's great fun to run between the ATT legs and stuff like that, and it looks quite good. And obviously when the ATT gets, or the ATAT gets taken down, it does look very good indeed. So I have to say, obviously, special effects, you know, all that kind of stuff looking really good, and adding to the immersion in the game. It's just obviously there are certain aspects of it that people will not like. That it's a very casual game, I would say, in its style. It's not designed to have any kind of significant depth to it. It's designed for essentially a consolers and a PC gamers market, you know, people who just want to come in, shoot a few things and then disappear. This is not the kind of game that you'll be seeing playing in esports. It just won't happen because it doesn't have that level of depth, and there's probably some random aspects in there that pro gamers would not like. So overall, at this current moment, I would say it's enjoyable. I would say, from a gaming point of view, it's like a toddler's paddling pool. It's enjoyable, but it's shallow. We'll see you next time.